Somehow, under this dim lit room, she did not seem like someone else's. Somehow, as she stood there, overlooking the half empty pool outside the window, she did not seem like what she really was. We stood there, perhaps 3 feet from each other, yet the miles of separation between us grew larger still. Why was I even here? I wondered. Had I forced her to invite me? Or had I just latched on greedily to a mere formality of an offer? She stared at the bed sheet lying on the floor, an aftermath we were not responsible for, rubbing her arms. There was little warmth in this room anymore. The two service boys hurried back up as they finally managed to pull out her engagement ring from underneath the bed. There was a tiny opening behind the bed frame and the floor, but yet again I had failed to get in when she had needed me the most. She had needed to call for help. He handed the precious jewel back to his ma'am and got back to the task of setting the bed back right. I watched her fidget with that rock as she stared at the bed we had not managed to ruin. I watched her gaze deep into nothing as she put the ring back on in front of me. Not a bad view, I muttered as I walked towards the window, towards her. Yet her eyes were still on the bed that we had not. My back to the men at work, my eyes lost in that dirty water. I played with that lone strand of her hair which always snuck out. She had never stalked me. She never would. The two men walked around the bed, watchful, surely of the scene playing out. But they continued making that bed that we could not. My hand trailed the side of her neck, the collarbones I used to own, the lips that had always been mine, her bosom where I used to rest my head, until her hand reached up to mine. Resting together, our hands now formed a union of sadness only we understood. Under my palm, between the skin I used to call a pillow, and the hand that was supposed to be mine, was the symbol of a separation. Just another thing I could not give her. The Mangalsutra. Her Mangalsutra. Their Mangalsutra. Her eyes were still fixated on the damp bed. The two men had almost finished as they picked up the bed runner and asked her if they should put that back on as well, or maybe just let it rest on the side. Slowly, she nodded, her eyes no longer on the bed, which we hadn't. No, they looked directly at me, directly into my eyes. Unashamed, I kissed her lips and bit her neck. Unconcerned, the boys nearby, the men, workers of an organization that feeds on discretion, reacted little and went on as instructed. Her body guarded by his jewels, her bed covered by that runner, and her eyes filled with remorse over what I had or had not done. Without any further noise, they were gone, the two witnesses of our crime, and so was my chance of ruining her bed ever again. She started crying, but I wasn't sure if it was because we could not ruin that bed or because we wanted to.